I am reading to you a post with permission from the author on Facebook. I am a member of a homesteading and farming for women's group, and we share misery and ideas. And this woman, her name is Sandy Davis, and she wrote this post the other day, and I reached out to her and said, oh my God, I have to be able to read this post on our podcast. And she gave me permission. It is one of the funniest things I've read in a very long time. So here we go, by Sandy Davis. I grew up around my Aunt May's farm, where nobody bothered with life lessons. You just figured them out. Nobody explained that animals were food. You just noticed one day that the cow you'd been scratching behind the ears last week was now on a sesame bun. Between 2 slices of cheddar, simple math. Animals go in, dinner comes out. Aunt May had one hard rule. Don't name the animals. Naturally, being the obedient child that I was, I named every single one of them. What's the difference between calling a cow number 1305 from its ear tag or Dolores? Either way, she was bound for the grill. Personally, I think Dolores tastes better than number 1305. It adds character. I grew up eating Cuddle stew and Betsy sandwiches like it was the most normal thing in the world. If you've never slathered mayo on a piece of Wonder Bread and topped it with slices of your best friend Betsy, then clearly you weren't raised right. So of course I raised my kids the same way. My son wanted meat rabbits. We picked up some does and a fine buck for breeding. The kids named him Flopsy. Cute, right? I didn't see a problem. He wasn't meant for the pot. He had a romantic career ahead of him. Flopsy was supposed to be the Don Juan of rabbits, the Hugh Hefner of hutches. But Mother Nature has no respect for career paths. One night, something tried to break into his cage and busted the door. In the morning, I found Flopsy under the hutch with a broken back. So much for romance. He went from Playboy Bunny mogul to Campbell's special of the day. The kids were inconsolable. Snot, tears, the whole ugly cry. When I served Flopsy stew, they refused at first. We can't eat our pet, they wailed. I told them firmly, this is what rabbits are for. Eventually, each took a tiny bite. Their faces scrunched up like they were being forced to swallow poison. Then, like clockwork, magic happened. Can we have more Flopsy stew? Folks, nothing prepares you for the sight of a child weeping uncontrollably while simultaneously shoveling meat into their mouth like they're at a Vegas buffet. It was tragic. It was hilarious. It was farm life in one scene. Fast forward a few years, and when the grandkids were continuing the tradition, they named everything. Jimmy the pig, Ron the cow. When they'd come for a visit, they'd ask for Jimmy sausage or Ron burgers with all the casual cheer of kids ordering Happy Meals. But then came Wilbur. We bought 6 piglets, 1 for our freezer, 1 for a pig roast, and 4 to sell. Naturally, they named the runt Wilbur. Of course they did. Charlotte's Web had ruined an entire generation. When the pig roast day came, Wilbur was the perfect size. Goldilocks herself couldn't have picked better, so we roasted him whole, as you typically do. What I neglected to do was warn the glad grandkids that Wilbur was going to come out of that roaster looking, well, like Wilbur, only extra crispy. It just never occurred to me. When Jim opened the roaster lid, it was like we had just unveiled Satan himself. The children screamed like we had set Disneyland on fire. These weren't normal screams. They were movie-quality horror screams, exorcist screams. Neighbors probably peeked out their windows and wondered if we were filming a low-budget slasher flick called The Night of the Pork. I swear I saw one of the grandkids souls leave their body when Wilbur's little snout poked through the steam. You know you've messed up when a 7-year-old looks at you like you just personally murdered Santa Claus. They refused to eat. Refused. Wouldn't touch a roll from the table like it might have Wilbur essence on it. Jim had to drive to the store for hot dogs, which, let's be honest, are basically mystery pig parts ground up with hopes and lies. Somehow those were fine. Oh, this? A mashed up collection of Wilburs from around the world? Sure, we'll eat 12. To this day, I think they're still traumatized. They are all full-grown adults now, most with kids of their own. But you so much as mention a pig roast and their eyes twitch. Like they're having a flashback. And poor Flopsy, my daughter still tells people, when I was a kid, my mom packed my school lunch with sandwiches made from my pet rabbit. She says it with the same tone other people reserve for recounting childhood trauma involving creepy clowns or a house fire. I don't even try to deny it because she's right. I swear to God. So I reached out to Sandy and I said, oh my God, I have to be able to read this for our show because it's so hilarious. And she gave me permission, as long as I mention that she is writing a book. Because I'm like, if you're not a writer, you need to be a writer. Tell me, oh my God, that you're a writer. And she said, actually, I am almost finished with my book. And it's called Between the Fenceposts, Tales of Mud, Mayhem, and Manure. You guys have to get her book when it comes out. And she also has a farm blog, and it's called AmericanWayFarm.blogspot.com. Please follow Sandy. She is absolutely hysterical. And thank you, Sandy, for the longest laugh I've had in a very long time.